What's up, everybody? Welcome back to your favorite wrestling podcast. It is the Monday Night Wave, baby. And we back. We back with another special. Not a PLE, not a regular show, but I don't know what you would call it. A Saturday night main event, if you will. I go by Jay, your host, or one of three hosts, the Pod Breaker, Podson Reed, Pod Rollins, Pod Moxley. Your boys in the building today. But like any episode, I couldn't do without my co-host. So we're gonna swing the ball over to my left, to my one, the only, the Quattro, Mr. Jericho. Go ahead.
Good morrow, good folk. Welcome once more to our merry gathering on this fine Monday Eve. Lend thy ears as I present myself. Behold! He is a man of many surprises, the sovereign of beauty, the gallant lottery of charm. He is our hero, and I am he. And for those who are new to the show, if this is your first episode, welcome, baby. Because what that means is he is a wild card. He is the king of gorgeous. He is Mr. Sexy Ass Lottery. He is hero, and I am he.
And yes, the man is back. We went back to back last week. We are here for the three-peat. That's right, baby. 1, 2, 3 strikes, and you are out. This is the OTC, the other co-host of the Monday Night Wave. What's happening?
And that's right, brother. That means the triangle mega powers are back, and the powers are so triangular that if you put it together, it makes a pyramid that they think the aliens built. But we all know that the slaves built it, and the aliens only gave us the schematics to build it because Klaxar doesn't like getting his hands dirty, brother. He never did, and he never will.
Are you okay?
It's Saturday night main event. We're going back in time.
Jesus Christ, bro.
The Hogan voice talking about slaves
is wild.
Oh, the parallels.
All right, bro. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the show. If you're new here, before we get into the Saturday night main event, we're going to talk about some wrestling news that happened. Just opinions and thoughts on some of the highlights of the pro wrestling news circuit. Off rip, we got to start off with one that we want to get rid of or get out of really quickly.
I mean, you did not.
No, you're right about that.
And let's just start off with this one real quick, man. TNA revealed that they have brought back Tessa Blanchard as she was attacking Jordan Grace. Pulls off the Shicey mask and the Scottie Pippins and reveals that she's back. For those that don't know, Tessa Blanchard had a very controversial wrestling career backstage, and with talent and relationships talents multiple. Definitely some allegations of bullying and racism and whatnot. And the internet, or the IWC, as I seen, was a little perplexed as to why she is back. So what I'm gonna do is just say that'd have been a fuck no for me. I'm not rocking with it. Mr. Hero, do you have something that you want to tag along with or add to this sweet little story?
Yeah, 3 things. One, it's going to be a no for me, brother. So I'm a piggyback on that no. 2, it's kind of hard to hide who you are even behind a shiesty when you look like the moon from Soul Eater. And 3, I'm just really confused and surprised by this signing. As PC as I am, as neutral as I am, I do think that, yes, like, people have the chance to rehabilitate themselves. People do have the chance to change. But as far as what I've seen from Tessa Blanchard online since I've been back into wrestling, it doesn't seem like she has. It seems like she usually doubles down on her takes and whatnot. And it's kind of perplexing because TNA's been doing really well recently. they've been getting bigger venues as other no shots, but as other companies are trying to find smaller venues, one company that's always done smaller venues is trying to find a little bigger venues. So it's like their business is going up for them, and then they sign someone that has so much negativity attached to their name. It's kind of perplexing. So I'm really confused on why they would even do this. So those are my three takes. I don't even want to say lipo. I don't, or let it play out. I don't want to say let's just see where it goes. I mean, we're going. I have no choice. We have no
Right.
choice. But I'm again. It's like kind of like Drewski hands. I don't understand why. I don't get it.
The only thing I can kind of see, where at least from like the business side of it, is assuming that Jordynne Grace is out, you need somebody to kind of like be that face of the women's brand in TNA. And I look,
it's a choice.
It's a choice for sure. It's a choice.
That's a choice.
You can't hide the shape of it.
It's a choice, but I could see that that's probably where they want to go. I personally, like I said, I wouldn't do it, but if I'm not head of TNA, and you're right, we have no choice but to let it play out and see how this is going to go. Yeah, man, I don't feel too good about this.
Well, here's the truth from my standpoint. I didn't even know who she was until I did some research, and upon my research, I found out that her and Natalie Nunn are sisters. They both have the same mom. They all have the same chin. And in the 90s, she also was the inspiration for the Nega Chin from Fairly Odd Parents. So that's what I found out about Tessa. TNA had a choice. They made a choice. That's an interesting choice.
It is.
That's all I'm going to say about that.
It is definitely an interesting choice. And people did say you can see her chin through the shiesty. And I was like, that's wild, bro. Seeing the chin through the mask is hilarious.
She will never have to worry about spilling food on her shirt. Never have to worry about it.
God, y'all is fucking funny. All right. Spinning out of that, this week also started off kind of hot and crazy with the Ray Phoenix comment. Ray Phoenix went on Twitter and said that, or kind of stemming off of his inhumane tweets or saying his treatment at AEW was inhumane, and then says that he wasn't contacted for months and had to find his own doctor, and that sent the IWC in the frenzy, more so, people who are against AEW in the frenzy and whatnot. And it does definitely ask some questions, or I have some questions that I would like to ask about a certain situation. Because it's not the first time we heard it. We heard that Punk had the same thing happen in his interview with it was Ariel Hirani, if I'm not mistaken. He said the same thing. And I was just like, I have the question, like, why is this the case? Why is people like having to, find their own doctors? And I sat there and thought about it a little bit more, and it was like, do you want your company picking out your doctors for you? And I think we also had seen a tweet. I think Hira posted in the chat, and he was like, it's more of a reimbursement cycle. At least that would make the most sense, to where like you get injured, you go and pay for your surgery XYZ, and then you send in a reimbursement claim, and then they give you your money back. At least that's what makes the most sense to me. I'm not in the wrestling world, and once again, these are all alleged thoughts and opinions, people.
Okay, can I jump in? So that's the difference. So the apparent difference between, let's just say, the two big companies, so AEW, WWE, is that like with WWE, they have a list of doctors that they would rather you see, and if you have your own doctor, for example, Rey Mysterio, he has a knee doctor. That's the only doctor he'll see. They will send you to them, and they're gonna pay for it or whatever. With AEW, like you said, it's kind of like a reimbursement thing, to where it's like, all right, you get to choose your own doctors, and you have to pay for it. We'll send you the check. Both ways work. The reason why one might work better than the other, or why it's looking funny in the light for Tony, is because, one, this is not the first time we heard it. Two, the biggest issue really is not the fact that Ray would have to go through that route. It's the fact that, like, the biggest issue is the alleged ghosting, which we've heard that from there. I mean, that's been from multiple talents since, first year, whether it's Swole, whether it's Marco Stunt, Joey Janela, etc. Like, there's been multiple talent that say, like, I've been ghosted, I've been silently fired, or whatever the case is. So honestly, out of all
Brian
that,
Nemeth.
that's the biggest issue. But to my third point, real quick, is for your question, but like, would you want them to pick your doctors out? I would say, in this kind of line of work, I kind of want to say yes. And the reason I want to say yes is because we're all normal people, as far as having normal jobs and shit. None of us are rich or anything. And we all have family members that probably see the doctor and go to the doctors consistently. So that means we know how hard it is to see a doctor. And this is us regular bank accounts, all this other shit. So, like, imagine how hard it is to see a doctor. Like, you have to find your own doctor for whatever crazy injury you got in the ring, and then like so you got to find a schedule. Instead of having someone else do that for you, it's hard. It's already hard. Like, for a regular human, it's hard to see a doctor. Just because Ray has a couple more zeros doesn't mean it's any harder for him to find a doctor, get a good date. Like, maybe he has to wait 2 months to get a certain surgery that in the other company with their with their HR people, with their business people, whatever, they can probably get that in a week. Like, for example, Tongaloa, we didn't know he got injured until the day of the following show, and he already had the surgery. It took a week and a half for Bronson Reed to get his ankle fixed. Like, he already had his surgery. So that's where kind of like the difference is, where I would say, like, do I want the company to choose for me? I would say it's one of those yes and no's, but it also kind of depends on your line of work. In this line of work, I kind of want to say yes, in the sense, because again, like, we know how hard it is to get a doctor, especially with what's going to happen when we get this new president in and all this other stuff. Like, honestly, the easier it is for someone to might handle something like that, especially if you have broken English, because like maybe maybe the language barrier might be an issue. In this particular situation, we don't know. That's a concern of mine, but yeah, we don't know. Like, so I would say, like, yeah, maybe in this situation, I would prefer to have someone set up a doctor's appointment for me or whatever. That's the pros and cons between the jobs, and there's pros and cons with both methods for sure. That's so that's not me just saying there's cons on AEW side. I think there's pros to both sides, because like, for example, Eddie Kingston, he was on record of, like, I hate insurance, so he's fine with this kind of life. In doing it that way, like, so yeah, again, there's pros and cons on both sides. I just so yeah, those were my 3 points.
Let me because I do agree with everything that you said, and I'm gonna just add some more to it, to where, like, with AEW, we know that they have a lot of international stars. International medical insurance is not American insurance, so I would believe that there is probably some difficulties with that as well. When it also comes to choosing your doctors for you, that can work, but also at the same time, you may be comfortable with a doctor who may clear you early, and now they cleared you early unprepared, and now you go out and re-injure something, or you injure something even worse. And that ties into, like, I think I was reading with Fightful, and they were saying something that maybe there was an issue with him wanting to see a doctor that was going to clear him, and the AEW doctor maybe at the time did not feel like he was ready to go. And that's neither here nor there, but you got to think about those kind of things when we talk about, like, medical insurance and whatnot. Also, with AEW and the WWE differences is that WWE knows that you got injured in a WWE ring. So therefore, it's like, okay, we don't have to speculate where this injury even happened. Let's say hypothetically somebody is working in indie and they assign to AEW, but they get injured at the indie and go to AEW, and that's when they reveal the injury, or they shoot that they twisted their ankle there. There's a lot more complexities that happens with, like, insurance and whatnot, especially when there's reimbursement involved and you got, like, insurance fraud and stuff like that. At least that's how my head worked with it. It is very complicated. We also seen that Phoenix pulled the tweets. So we don't know, like, did you need to say that to try to get out of your contract? And even with that, from Fightful, there was talks that they were leaning into letting him go early. They were thinking about doing that. Now, I don't know if that's so much on the table as it was before, but yeah, it was all a lot of mess. definitely early in the week with this Ray Phoenix topic and whatnot. But hopefully the two sides can figure something out and get it resolved. But yeah, I very, very odd. You got anything, DT, that you want to add to this?
Nah, I mean, I had jokes, but I'm not going to crack any jokes about it. I think the biggest thing is the difference in how the companies handle it. And if you know that going into it, then there is a level of accountability from a company standpoint from that instance of let's check on our talent, make sure they're good, that kind of thing. Even if it's not Tony like himself doing it, someone should be doing it. Just, hey, how are things going? How are you feeling? How was surgery? Blah, 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 blah. So that's it for me. I think I was going to crack jokes and I cracked some earlier in the week, but it's not really that funny. So.
All right, then. With the news out the way, let's get started, man. Saturday night main event. Long Island, New York, I believe that's where they're at with it. Packed out. People were in the building.
Amazing.
It looked fire.
They sold out twice, damn near, because they had to open up more seats.
Yeah,
which is it's pretty wild.
Classic look. So we got the red, white, and blue ropes.
Classic, no, retro, baby, big
retro,
retro,
nostalgia vibes.
Man, 8-bit, 64-bit. We're going NES, baby.
64 like
NES.
Oh, NES. We're going
SNES. With that, we saw first person that comes out is Jesse Ventura, right? Jesse Ventura opens the show.
Okay, wait. Before that, real quick, because I made a note of it. So we before we see Ventura talking to Joe, which that was a cool moment. I'll let you finish that. We got the typical camera shots of like talent walking into the arena or whatever, and I made 2 notes of it. One note was because we know Kevin Owens has been doing this for a while, but on the show he's wearing a Gold Dust shirt. I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
Yeah, that was fire. That was fire.
Someone got to notice this. And then the other one was that when they were doing like the breakdown of each match, because they were showing the talent from each match, like walking into the arena, they showed the Judgment Day when they were talking about Liv's match. Finn and JD weren't a part of it. And then when they talked about the triple threat, you see JD and Finn walk in by themselves.
Yep.
So that's a little foreshadowing. I just had to literally, I was like, notice this. We got to notice this. But yeah, that was it.
No, I definitely forgot about that. The Golda shirt made me pop. That was funny. But yeah, we see Jesse Ventura come out with the feathers and the snakeskin jacket. And for me personally, I didn't see a lot of Jesse Ventura. By the time I was watching wrestling, dude was like long gone. But he was definitely part of like, my uncle's generation and stuff like that. Those kind of wrestlers that he grew up with. So it was definitely kind of cool to see him come back and do like this special. From Jesse Ventura though, we get Pat McAfee. The man has returned right next to Michael Cole. It feels good. I enjoy Cole and McAfee. I know that somebody here has an issue with Pat McAfee and just cannot stand him at all. Hero, how did you feel about Pat McAfee returning?
Well, as you guys know, let's just peel back the curtain a little bit with our show. I was not able to watch the show live, but since it was also on Channel 8 / Peacock, I was able to put it on DVR. So I fast forward through all the commercials. I also fast forward through Pat's entrance. That saved me like 2 minutes. Anytime, like between matches, when people were just, when they're just talking and promoting other stuff, fast forward to that. Saved me a lot of time too. Yeah, man, I'm gonna stay 10 toes down. I don't overly hate Pat. It's not like how I feel about Swerve's clothes or anything, but it's damn near close. I just, man, the vibes, bro. It's like, I don't know, man. It's like I got to deal. It's like having the family member you don't like but you tolerate, live at your house for 6 months at a time, because it seems like we're gonna have to deal with this until college starts back. So honestly, I'm hoping college lasts a little longer. But during the matches, he wasn't overly like, I didn't get annoyed or anything, or at least too much. But I still was for sure annoyed. I'm not even.
You can tell.
I gotta keep it a buck.
You can tell that he was just coming back and just getting his feet wet in it again. To where he wasn't like overly obnoxious, but he was just definitely adding his little, bits here and there, and that was fine with me. There was nothing that he said that like irritated me at all.
And he seemed sober, which that's not a shot, because there's been times I've done this show not sober, but at least I'm not a fucking asshole about it.
Tough crowd, bro.
He showed up to one show and he was blatantly high as hell. And I'm like,
I think they're in Amsterdam. That shit was wild. They put that shit on national TV. It was like, crazy,
it was like,
bro.
You gonna let him on TV? Like this? It was like it's like what they did with Jeff Hardy and TNA. It was something wild. I was like, this is.
Anyways, nigga, god damn, bro. Sorry, Jeff. Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn is the first match that opens the show here. This was a banger. This was so much of a banger that I wanted it to go longer. I think I tweeted out or whatever that like, I wish that they could have had like 5 to 10 more minutes, because they were just getting in their bag when that Claymore happened. And then DT reminded me, you missed the 5 minutes. They were wrestling through the ads. Yep. I was like, oh shit. He's right. They were definitely wrestling through the ads.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the championship, the main event was the only one to get the picture-to-picture.
Yeah, it was the only one that got picture-in-picture.
Picture-in-picture.
And it was the only one that did another commercial after one entrance. So like after KO's entrance, we had got a commercial, and then that led into the match with Cody and everything like that. But the only one that got picture-in-picture. How do we feel about the ads, yo? Let's just get this one out the gate already. I wasn't aware that it was just going to be a special. I was on the fence thinking that it was going to be like a PLE kind of like theme or thing. Until I hit the group chat, and I was like, "Oh, how long?"
We talked about this last week. I thought we talked about this on the show. It was like it's going to be similar to like what Dynamite does with like winners.
We did like theme. You did say that it was going to be like a theme show, but I didn't know it was going to be like a theme show with like crazy ads like a regular WWE show would. And that's why I went and hit the group chat this morning. I was like, "Oh, how long is the show?" And you're like, "Oh, it's going to be like 2 hours with ads." I was like, "Oh, shit. Okay, we're going to see how this plays out." But anyway. I know I watched later, didn't have to deal with all the ads that could rewind shit. But
I still have a
DT,
take.
He finished the show. He finished the show in 20 minutes, dog.
Bro, I gotta catch up, guys. He finished that shit in 50 minutes. I was so mad.
It was an hour and 15, I think.
Fucking crazy.
Less than
that. That's because he watched the entrances. If he didn't watch the entrances, he would have definitely got done in like 45.
Well, I know. The high key, I fast forwarded something through the entrances because it's like they just talk. Like Meechin's entrance, I fast forwarded through it. And, you
didn't see the HBCU gear? That shit was fly.
No, I saw it. I saw it through fast forward. I saw it. She turned her back around. I saw it. Yeah.
Okay.
I just didn't hear it.
Gotta make sure we supporting, yo. DT, did the ads take you out of the experience? Was it as bad for you as it was for me? What's your take on it? How do you feel?
The short answer is yes. The longer answer is, like you, I was, for whatever reason, under the impression this was going to be like a PLE. So I'm thinking, all right, y'all going to hit me with the ad at the beginning. I'm going to be able to watch this all the way through 2 hours straight. And then the first commercial hit, I feel like in like 5 minutes or something like that. And I was like, oh, damn, that's right. This is supposed to be on NBC on TV. Mm-hmm. And after that, I had to reel in my expectations. And literally, it was ad after ad after ad after ad. And it was like watching, I might as well just watch it on regular television as opposed to watching it on Peacock. At least give me something based on my algorithm or something. But this was like, they tried to sell a nigga Ozempic one time. Like, it was, I was like, all right, this is just a regular show from that standpoint. But it that took me out of it a little bit. But again, the presentation, the audience, how the ring was set up, the arena was set up, like that kept me in it. Even like I popped for the refs, like having the blue polo on and the black bow tie,
That shit was
like
fly.
that did it for
fly.
me. I was like, oh yeah, let's go. Like, so it tempered my expectations, but the ads was kind of ass. I'm not gonna lie. Commercials, not even ads; they were commercials.
Indeed, full commercials. Yeah, it made me think about, like, you know, with this Netflix move, right? They're already saying that, like, you know, Netflix already has its own ads. WWE said they're still going to do, like, their ads from their sponsors and whatnot. To where I'm thinking, like, man, anybody on that basic plan is about to get hit with ads after ads after ads from both Netflix and WWE. And that's just going to be fucking crazy. So, upgrade your plans, people. Going back to the show, and the match itself.
Real quick. So I was the only one that had the expectation of what was going to happen. So that's why even though I did get the fast forward, I wasn't that upset. But yeah, essentially it was because it was a 2-hour show, 5-match special. We didn't get a lot of filler, which that's going to go into my grade overall, which will make my grade higher overall when we do get to it. Because we don't have any fillers, for example, for not the AEW diehards, not the freakazoids, but for people still like AEW and like who just want matches, like you get a lot of matches. Like there's no backstage talking or no bullshit like that. Like it's match into match into match, and that's also because of how many commercials there were. But it was essentially watching like a 2-hour Raw or SmackDown, but just on Channel 8. So. If you ever watched football on Peacock on one of your games, it's very similar type of thing. So,
yeah, you are right. Because one of my opinions after the show was that I respected the fact that they respected my time, right? To where like even after the ads happened, the first ad that happened, they got straight into the shit, bro. Like it was nothing but jam-packed action, and I like that. That's one of the pluses to this. Is that the ads pissed me off, but the fact that my time didn't feel like it was wasted, that we got match into match into match, like, and the match card was great. Like these are marquee fucking matches. I also tweeted out that I think that it's similar to like, you know, it's Raw, SmackDown in between Saturday Night Main Event, and then you have your PLEs, right? And basically what Saturday Night Main Event was a Raw or SmackDown with a PLE match card. And that's perfect. I fully understand that now going into it. So when the next one happens, I shouldn't be as surprised because we've already went through it. But yeah, it overall, I thought the show was neither bad nor good, but it was an experience. I liked it. I didn't have nothing crazy.
Yeah, it was kind of like it's kind of like when people like ask you to watch like an anime you never seen before, but they give you like, here's the cheat sheet to skip all the fillers. Like this episode, like, there was no story building. Like it was match into match into match. Like we didn't have like, oh, what's happening with the New Day right now, or what's happening with Final. Like there was no other story building. This show was about this show. Everything that happened in this show was about this show. And even then, like there was still like no backstage segments. You don't hear Bryan Cranston and Brian Saxton talking to somebody. you didn't have Walter White in the background or Malcolm's dad.
Malcolm.
Yeah, you didn't like. There was no world building. It was literally just like, here you are. Like this is it. We're here to see this. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, I enjoyed that. That was solid. But yeah, Sami and Drew had a phenomenal match to me. I like the energy. I love the Claymore out of nowhere. Like we talked about it before, to where the Claymore is one of those specials that like you can just pop out. Like it can happen at any given time. And sure as shit, it caught Sami square in the chin. With this, we know the story is that Drew has been targeting everybody in the bloodline. Everybody's been next to Roman. Everybody that's been around him, he has been taking them out. Now that we know that, I know last episode we were like, do we really know who attacked? And Hero's like, bro, we know who the hell attacked him. He showed up at the end of the show. So, what's next for Drew? We saw that there was no interference either. Like there was no Jimmy, no Jay, no Roman, no Punk. Nobody came out to scrape Sami off the mat. So
And that's throughout the whole show also, except for
yeah,
the U.S.
Yeah.
titles women's match. That's the only match that has any quote unquote interference or anything like that.
Chicanery.
But
Yeah.
like every match was pretty clean
was
for the most
clean.
part. No, again,
Mhm.
like no fillers, no story building. It was just like we're niggas is fighting.
I liked it. I liked
Um,
it a lot.
It's a showcase. It's a
yeah,
showcase.
I don't remember what your question was.
Um.
But where do we go? Where do
Well,
we go?
I
Because Drew's been targeting
Okay,
people. Like,
right.
where do we think his next
Oh,
victim is?
okay. Based on your question, because we're not reviewing the other shows, so if you guys didn't watch Smack, not you guys as you two, but if you guys didn't watch SmackDown, we see Jimmy open the show, and he comes out with crutches, and he's talking about Big Jim and his big toe, yada yada, and we see a Claymore. So that further proves that yes, Drew is attacking everyone else in the OG bloodline. Just for context for people who might not have known, because we're not doing a
Right.
regular show.
Do we do Jay versus Drew at the next one in January, the next Saturday night main event in Texas? Or are we going to get? Do we think Drew's on that card? I would assume that he's on that card.
So it's probably gonna happen at Raw for Netflix.
Okay.
After the match with Sami and backstage, this was on social media. Drew McIntyre says 1 down, 4 to go. And I sat there, I was like, 4? I started counting the names. I was like, wait a minute. Is he talking? He gonna go after CM Punk again? So there's that.
Mm.
So he has 4 people on his hit list.
Unless,
Okay.
And it's
unless
you
that,
got Jay, you got Jimmy, and Roman. It's not gonna be Paul. So
it could be Paul,
It'd be,
because
do you think? Wait, could it be Solo?
It could be Solo.
mm,
I'm going to lean, based off of what DT's telling us, I'm going to lead towards Paul only because we just had this crazy trilogy feud end at Bad Blood.
mhm.
And then it looks
Right.
like Punk is going to be obviously tied with Seth / maybe Gunther. So I feel like that fourth might be Paul, is where I'm going to lean towards.
The only reason why I would say I would lean against Paul, he's obviously like, one, it could diminish the bump he took back in July. 2, it brings him back around to Seth and Punk
Wait, okay.
because there was that 20-minute promo, huh?
No, I have a question. I'll let you finish.
Okay, there was that 20-minute promo exchange that they had leading up to the special guest referee match, etc. So I don't know, because right now he's floating in between both shows, and
Right.
he's been marked or ear tagged as talent that might flip shows. So that's the only thing that I could see, like why I would say it wouldn't be Paul Heyman.
Okay, my question is, and Loner, you can answer this too when you get a chance. Why, if he did attack Paul, why would that diminish
Mm-hmm.
what the new Bloodline did? Because Paul Heyman doesn't get attacked that often, so if he gets attacked like twice a year, is that diminishing previous attacks, or why? Why was that your take? If you think, if yeah,
Because that was such a pivotal point in that storyline, and such a it was like a jumping, like a God, what's the word? Call it a trampoline, like for Solo's ascension.
Yep.
And again, the same initial reaction I had at the end of this showcase, which we'll talk about later, is if you're doing something for the shock and the awe to elevate talent or to elevate a scenario or situation, if you repeat it again, it takes the mustard off of it. It doesn't hit the same, and it becomes an everyday thing. So
Right.
that's like, it would have, to me, it would have to be a crazy scenario or something. Like, it wouldn't be a bump if it's Paul Heyman. It would have to be something else.
All right, well, hear me out real quick again before you. I agree with you, because that's how certain people, that's how certain people feel. Like if you have blood every single week or something like that, it kind of diminishes it.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a difference like if we're talking about power ranking or power levels as far as like damage output, putting someone through a table is a lot more damage heavy and could take you off of TV for the 5 months that it took Heyman off versus a Claymore. If Drew just did a Claymore, that's maybe 2-3 weeks off. That's a little less. It's not as detrimental or damaging as putting someone through a table. Does that make sense?
Well,
Yeah, I
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily like the move and the damage aspect. I think it's more of like the reason behind you're doing it. The reason behind the powerbomb is that, like DT said, it just ascended Solo. It made him the biggest heel in WWE currently right now. If Drew is attacking Paul and it's not going to be as big of an impact as, that, then there's no point in him, attacking him if he's not going to be the biggest heel in Raw or something like that. There has to be a reason for Drew to do it that makes sense for the stories to continue, 6, 7, 8 months down the line.
I think that's the only way to get Roman's attention. I think that's why.
I don't think so. And the reason why I would say that is because if Roman is attempting to get the Ulafala back, be the head of the table again, etc., and if he has we saw what Roman was like with no tribe. If you start taking off his soldiers and there's no one there, like the moment if Jay comes back, when Jay comes back and they wrestle, Drew is going to take Jay out. We already know he's not going to wrestle Jimmy. Jimmy has a broken toe, so we might not see Jimmy till a little later. But if he takes out Jay, say at Raw, right, for Netflix, you immediately have to be on Roman's radar, because now it's like, oh, you are literally picking off everyone to get up to me. The other reason, real quick, why I would say also Punk, is because he's attacking people that went back to Roman. It's the same thing that's kind of going on with Seth's thought process. It's like, why are you guys just going back to Roman and going back to be this quote unquote family? And we did all of this work to tear it down and take it down. He hasn't even apologized to you. So that was also Drew's like behind the scenes and guerrilla piece as well. A week ago when he talked about real quick.
I think I know where this is going. I think that like Solo and Roman they're fighting at Netflix, right? That's the tribal combat match.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said before, it's 0-1. The story here is that Roman wants to get the Ulafala from Solo.
No, they're 1-1.
They're
1-1. They're 1-1. What I said behind the scenes was that they both lost tribal chief match or tribal combat match.
Okay,
but as far as this feud goes, they're 1-1.
Roman wants the Ulafala. We're trying to get Roman's attention. If attacking people don't get your attention, it's already kind of crazy. But what if Drew costs him the Ulafala?
Here's my
what
okay.
if that's
what
if there's a Claymore?
That's possible. So here's my thing based off of what you and DT just said. Okay, so the reason why I think picking off someone like a Jay and a Sami isn't going to fully get Roman's attention is because at Jan 6th, he's focused on this Ulafala. There's been multiple rumors that The Rock is finally going to show up. I think that's what's going to cause Roman to lose that match. So if that's what happens, then again that means Drew. What if the fourth person isn't Punk and it isn't Paul, but it's Cody? Because Cody is someone else who helped Roman Reigns at Bad Blood. That's my only other guess who that fourth person could be.
I feel like the lines would get crossed too soon because of like the KO shit that happened.
We got months for all this to plan out. Because if Rock shows up at January and costs Roman the Ulafala, that's going to eventually set up Rock and Roman for Mania, hypothetically, because that's what everyone wants. That still gives us months and months. Like, we still got to wait for Jimmy to come back and have his whole actual feud, because he can't have a feud right now. So there's months of world building that they can do with Drew. I don't think they're going to automatically go to Punk. Like, him and Punk just had the best feud of the year / best match of the year. They're not going to instantly go back to that. So that's why I'm like, the fourth person has to be somebody else. If it's not Paul Heyman, the only other person who helped Roman Reigns is Cody Rhodes.
I just don't think that's. I like the idea of it. I just don't think it's possible in 17 weeks. You know, like you got to think like that's not a lot of time before Mania. You know what I'm saying? Like we're 3 months, 4 months away from it. Like that's a lot to put in there.
So imagine this is Drew's revenge tour, similar to Live.
To Live.
There's nothing. There's nothing. There's no rules saying all this has to be done before Mania.
There isn't. But, or with that, I'm not going to say but because that's dismissive. With that, he's one of your, he is probably, he is. I will put him as the biggest heel. He's the biggest heel on Raw. You're not going to not have him at WrestleMania. So there has to be something that is the driving force of the piece for that. It doesn't necessarily mean that him and Punk are going to revisit the feud completely. But if he's talking about 4 people, and Cody we know is dealing with KO. We're still talking about, or we still theorize about Randy coming back and Randy getting a belt for him and Cena down the line for them to compete for the most belts ever. It's hard to then throw Drew in that, and spoiler alert, Cody just got vacationed tonight or Saturday night. So he's gonna go away, of course, and come back. He's probably come back middle of January. Well, no, he'll be at the beginning of January because he's gonna be at SmackDown in Portland because he was already billed for that when we purchased the tickets. So he'll be there.
Yeah, and he's supposed to be at January 6th also. But also that like the small loophole what you just said is that we're assuming like we don't like we're like again like because we talked about it last week, like we don't know anyone's plans. Like hypothetically, they could do Drew and Cody at Mania and then do Cody and Randy at SummerSlam. Like they like with this slow booking that this long term booking that Triple H likes to do, like there's no telling when we're going to actually get Cody and Randy. That could be the SummerSlam match. So like we could get Drew trying to pick off every single person minus Punk, and then it somehow leads to Cody if we get chain shows. I'm just like, what I'm trying to say is like there's so many different ideas. Like we can't be set in stone on what's going to happen because there's so many big players right now, especially that none of the big players are injured currently. Like we talked about last week on the show and off the show. Like we don't know what Drew's doing. There's still a Gunther, whether he has a title or not. We got Punk, you got Roman, you got Cody, you got Seth. Like that's 6 big names right there, and that's not including a Randy and hopefully a Rock and whatever. Like they could go many different routes. And another reason I'm saying that is also because what happened with SmackDown, like everyone was saying like, it could be Penta. I was just like, it might be Penta, but it could be anybody. It literally could be anybody. And then there's a lot of people that were upset it was Strowman, but it's like it kind of makes sense. And it's like it doesn't like just because like someone's like, oh, I have someone special in mind for you doesn't mean it's always going to be like some crazy instant new signing type of thing. We have to, as fans, especially in this new era, when this new era has been really good at pulling things under our leg. It's been predictable, but it's also been good at like swerving us. We can't get our expectations high and just expect just random shit to happen the way that we're personally booking it.
Nor would they do it like that. I don't think they would do Penta as like a surprise like opponent for like Carmelo. Like that wouldn't make any sense just from like a promotion standpoint, you know?
The only reason I said it might be is because they did it with Motor City, but Motor City.
But we had known that Motor City had signed with WWE, you know.
Right, exactly.
We have known. If we didn't know Penta had signed with WWE, he just popped up on SmackDown, that shit would have been crazy. But typically we kind of know ahead of time like where people are going and whatnot. Right. To get back on track with the Saturday Night main event, the next match was Iyo Sky versus Liv Morgan. For the women's belt. This match I enjoyed. It was Liv's first clean match in a really fucking long time, and I've been asking for it. I've been asking for no interference, and I finally got it, and I loved it. I'm cool with it, yo. She held her own against Iyo, which is a tremendous opponent. You know, like Iyo gets nothing but praise from me. Took a brutal knee to the face, ended up bloodying her nose, and like you got busy. I seen Liv get busy. That's all I wanted. I have nothing negative to say about this, like at all. I did want Iyo to win because I thought at that moment that like, you know, it was going to be some Judgment Day Raquel interference where like, Jesus, I don't need to see this anymore. But the fact that it was clean, I was like, okay, so she can stand her own. She can do it without Raquel in the corner. Be the champion. And she showed me that she was a champion. Do we have any thoughts, comments, concerns here?
No, a great match. I think it played out the way I expected it to play out. And again, I think it's the case of like the physicality. If it's a opponent that's bigger than Liv, she's gonna need Raquel. If it's somebody that's around her stature, around her same wrestling style, it showcases. I mean, we knew she could wrestle, and they even talked about during the show. But Hero might have skipped this because he was fast forwarding. That Liv Morgan was up for Wrestler of the Year. So we know she can wrestle. We know she can work. Yeah.
I did skip that. Didn't hear it.
Yep. See.
Yeah. Match was fire to me. Loved it. I was surprised that it was a clean finish. I'm not mad at it. There's a small part of me that wish it wasn't clean, just because I feel like in my mind, Io's like super strong. So it's like, oh man. But no, like this to me, this was a good match. I wouldn't change anything. It was fire. This was probably one of Liv's best matches. The only reason I wish it wasn't clean is just because I feel like as of right now, I'm picking Iyo to win the Rumble, and whoever has the title at that time, I'm thinking Iyo gets that Mania match. As of right now, it's only December, so. Yeah, but no, match was fire. It was a great ass match.
Iyo pulled the rolling German suplex,
the triple
which
Germans,
was like the triple Germans.
Yeah.
And there was a spot because we know Io's good for at least one slip.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a moment where she slipped, and it went right into a code breaker, and the way that Liv did it,
save the moment.
That's the thing. I was like, it was so clean and so smooth. I almost think it was booked that way. I don't know. Like that's how good it was. So if it wasn't, like if that was literally just a moment where she slipped, she was supposed to jump into a code breaker, and like if that's the case, Liv did such a good job recovering that, because it looked so smooth to where it was like, oh yeah, she didn't get all of it or whatever, whatever bullshit the announcers usually say, she slipped and it was just like straight into the knees, and it was like, oh, it was smooth. So
it was solid.
Yeah, if that was an accident, like that makes, I feel like that should give people more reason to give Liv praise and stop acting like she can't wrestle, because these last 2-3 years she's proven that she belongs on this roster. We can't just keep underlooking her. Like she is a good wrestler. Like she is good at her job, in and out of the ring, as far as like facial cues, as far as promos, yada yada. Like Liv is good, and Io's absolutely fucking amazing.
I just wanted to be.
There
booked
was
like this. That's it.
There was a tweet or two tweets I saw that said it looked like Iyo slipped on purpose, so that could have been a spot. Like that's how. So like to your thought process to back that up or affirm that, like same bit. My last thing on this match, Liv got a impromptu shout out from Jesse the Body. You probably missed that too because you were fast forwarding, but he gave her
or during.
Oh.
No.
It was after. It was after the match, but he gave her a shout out. He gave her a shout out, and he was like he was. You could tell he was really not only shocked, but he was really pleasantly surprised by how they worked, and how she took that shot and kept working. So I think that says a lot.
Yeah, that's cool.
Definitely worked in this match. It was solid. Like I said, I just want Liv to be booked like this with more talent that she could possibly work with. That might not happen because post match we see Rhea emerge, and they have a little stare down here.
This I did not like. Am I the only one? I did not like.
No, I'm with you. I think that like once again we can like live in the moment of like no pun intended. Live in the moment of having like her win and be like the champion and walk out, but to immediately kind of like stomp on that with like the entrance of Rhea is like, god damn, like we know the beef is still there, but it's like let her have this one moment,
no, I feel that the reason I didn't like it was because like you came out, you guys have a stare down. What the fuck? Like you've been beefing for like 5 months. You're breaking faces with bats. You're doing all this crazy shit. You're putting Dom in shark cages, and then after like 5 months of this crazy beef, you just have a stare down. Like no, like the fact that Raquel, like honestly, if I'm Liv, the fact that you didn't like Raquel didn't just instantly just start squabbling. Like what the fuck? Why are you here? There's. To me, it just doesn't make any sense based off of all the booking that we've been watching for the last however many months. Like, there shouldn't have been a stare down. It's a 2v1 situation. Beat her ass, just like you did in NXT parking lot, etc., etc. And you had Dom. Yeah. So that's a 3v1, really, if you want to get gully with it.
So the reason why is because I think H was trying to keep the crowd hot. You got to get Rhea out there. She don't have no matches. She's a babyface. They're gonna pop every time she comes out. That's literally all that was. And to prep for Raw for Netflix for sure. It was those two things. Outside of that, doesn't make any sense. There's no point. But those were the two. That was like a business decision.
Yeah,
go out there. Your music gonna pop. Because if you hear the crowd, as soon like that was again, they popped that way for her every time. So.
All right. Triple threat time. Priest, Gunther, Finn Balor, World Heavyweight Championship match. Oh, man. I was like, I can tell. I was like, you shake your head like, no. I like, man, this they was smacking in this one, yo. They was going down. And the thing is, like, it was everybody equally got they shine in this match. Finn went off. Man. Priest went off, Gunther went off. Like everybody equally got to show like why they could be the case for the champion. Everybody had their moments where like, oh shit, he might be the champion. Like this is going to be his window of opportunity here. I think this put Gunther back in his bag though. He needed to get this one to kind of like get back on his ring general mode. You saw like the switch flipped, and he gets a little bit more aggressive with Priest. He drop kicks the demon back into Finn, for the finish. So it's like yo, the man might be back, yo.
And he actually played with the crowd twice. Like there was a moment where like he did a move or some shit, and he's like, "Come on!" Like he's beating his chest. Yeah, like, let's go. Got me hyped up. I was ready to fucking do some shit too. I didn't do nothing though, but I was ready. I listened to my general. Match was absolute fire. The ending was great. I didn't write down like any spots. And honestly, out of all the matches, this was the one match I expected some shenanigans, and there was nothing. It was just literally just straight ass whooping from three different men. Like it was really good shit,
bro. The motherfucker broke the pin by grabbing this man's ponytail. I was like,
pulled him out the ring.
Pulled him out.
Yanked him out the ring.
Yep. With relative, like a lot of ease. Like Priest didn't even really help him that much.
I was like, he's tripping, yo.
And then I think that immediately went into the power bomb
on the stairs. It was a power bomb, which they all like.
Yep.
Priest's legs were so long, like it hit the thing.
It caught.
It like he had to like go back, like Gunther had to go back down, and then you like put like I don't know, strength,
bro,
core strength.
That takes so much strength, bro, to readjust you out of a power bomb into the correct position, bro. Yo, he's tripping, yo.
And still
power bombs into the steps. Yeah, then goes in and drop kicks the shit out of Finn into another power bomb. Like
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Somebody said this is gonna be the first time that people see Gunther on like regular television, and I was like, damn, like
That's
you might
crazy.
like they might yeah they might like fall in love with like, oh, who is this bad guy? Like who I know he's bad. That was the other thing. Get your fucking filthy hands off me! Don't touch me.
Yeah, well, it was touching
When he
in
came
the
out to the
presence.
ring,
Yeah. Don't
Can't
touch me.
What's wrong with y'all?
To be fair, they're in Long Island. I wouldn't let. I understand.
I can't wait. I can't wait until there's like fucking WrestleMania in like Buffalo, and they give you tickets to go like front row. I just want to see how you act.
Oh, they're never gonna do an outside theater in the Northeast ever again for WrestleMania.
I mean, if it's summertime,
that's done.
They might push it. You know, it might be a May 1st WrestleMania in like 2035. We don't know. But I just want to know if he gets tickets to go to a Mania in Buffalo in their front row seats, is he going to go?
You remember before?
And he gonna talk shit the whole time.
Absolutely. You remember before Moxley left the E and he had that little stint where he was like, "I'm gonna wear a gas mask because everybody stink." Yeah, I'll be wearing a gas mask. You would have thought it was Ginobili there. I'll wear a whole clean suit.
Jesus Christ, man. Chelsea Green,
meets
animals.
Inaugural Women's Championship, U.S. Championship match. This one I didn't have I know we knew it could come here, right? It can get to Chelsea and Michin. I didn't have a favorite of who I wanted to win it, and I was very much so watching this one neutral as fuck. They had a great match too.
Yeah,
like
fantastic match.
They had a great match, yo. So much so that I might have to walk back my claims on like the comedic aspect of Chelsea. If Chelsea can get down like this, my bad. I ain't know you had that in your bag, player. Like my fault. Respect. Cause she was wrestling.
Yeah.
She was wrestling. She was selling spots. Yeah, it was solid. What you got, DT?
I was gonna say, would you say you understand it now?
Oh, I understand it now.
You understand it now?
Right. I understand it now for sure. For sure.
Chelsea won me over. I think it was at WrestleMania. That's what I want to say. She went through was it WrestleMania or Extreme Rules? It was a ladder match. It was some match.
Money in the Bank then.
Go ahead.
It was
Money in the Bank. Okay. And she went through 2 tables.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she really goes. And then I started paying more attention to her the rest of the time. And every time I've ever seen Chelsea wrestle, she has that charisma, the comedic ability, but she really gets after it. This was the first prediction that I got wrong. Obviously, it was Team Michin, but Chelsea they both put on the show, but I was not mad at Chelsea winning, especially once I saw the crowd was chanting Chelsea through the whole match. Well, not the whole match, but towards the end of the match, I was like, oh, damn. I was like, yeah, she's about to win. And sure enough. Yeah.
The counter into the unprettier, bro, was brutal. That shit was hard. I was like, oh, shit. And then you see, like, she gets the fucking pin and, like, yeah, like you said, the crowd pops, man. And this, we could still play into the idea of what I said before to where, like, if it was it Bayley versus Michin, I had said that maybe Michin gets her moment at Mania, and I think that would be a way bigger moment for her. So we probably will still see Michin as, the women's U.S. champ. I definitely believe she will be second in line for this belt.
Yeah.
And hopefully it is at a Mania, because that would be a great fucking moment. But yeah, man, we're going to see Chelsea Green give Nick Aldis hell. Because if you thought she was bad before, she's going to be 10 times worse now. She has gold.
I cannot wait. I can't wait. Cannot wait. And actually, they should, hopefully, she's here in Portland. That's going to be great. That's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
1,000%.
I need her talking the most shit. The most
big shit. Hero, you got any closing thoughts on this one?
Yeah, no, not really. I was happy with the match. These were the final 2 women I expected. I'm on record several occasions saying I thought Chelsea would win. I'm glad she did. I would have been happy with either winner, to be real about it. I especially like after the dumpster match, and I was like, if these are the 2 finals, then this is going to be Chelsea's comeuppings to get over that feud. And yeah, I think Michin is for sure going to be it. She'll probably be the second person, if not the third, to hold the title. Chelsea Green, I feel like deserves it just as much as Meechin. Everyone deserves their moment. This is a good moment for Chelsea. She's put in the work ever since she got rehired. She's very entertaining. She said on a couple occasions that she wants to be the female Miz, and I can see that. She's entertaining. She's good at in-ring work. She can sell. Is she going to put on a 5-star classic? No, but she can hold her own and she can put on a good ass match, and she's extremely entertaining. She deserves her flowers. Chelsea Green. I'm happy for it. Let's go.
Before we get out, we had the conversation where, like, belts, either they're building the champion or they're given to people who can hold them. This is definitely the case where I think that, like, Chelsea can hold it. She just everything you just said there, where she's like, she wants to be the female Miz. She can carry storylines. She can talk, like, all this extra stuff. Like, Chelsea will be the right person to build. We're not to build the next babyface. She's going to do a way better job making the next babyface who comes after her look really, really fucking good and really strong.
Yeah. And with Piper to help, Piper will be
exactly.
She'll be a good heater. Like, you beat Piper. That's a good fucking accolade for you, to especially to work up to Chelsea. Like, it's going. We are going to be entertained. We will be sports entertained.
Absolutely.
Piper does have to start winning.
Yeah,
she do got to start winning.
Now she will. This will be. I feel like now she will get some W's.
True.
To make it credible to when you beat her to go to Chelsea. I feel like, at least that's my hope.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, to be a proper heater for sure.
Yeah.
Main event. KO, Cody Rhodes, the WWE Championship. KO comes out as normal. You just, not really feeling nothing, nobody in the crowd and whatnot. We get Cody's entrance.
Touched.
Did not want to be touched. We get Cody's entrance, and he's wearing the wing belt, and it looks perfect. Like, that good. Shit looks like it was made for him. It looks solid.
It did fit his body better.
I would agree with that. I would definitely agree with that. And this was just the one-off, right? I believe Triple H had mentioned, like, for the one night only, they're going to bring out the classic belt. It was a good look to do that for sure. What do we have here? What's the thoughts for this match? How'd you guys feel? Who wants to kick it off first?
Do we want to just start with the actual match before we get to any of the things that happened outside of it, and afterwards? Can we just do that?
Of course.
Okay. All right. So, that's fine. I'll take it off.
My answer is short, so you can go. My answer is short.
Okay. So, I'm upset. I am. I get it. Showcasing the belt. Kids love Cody. He's a man on top right now. And at least from the actual match itself, I felt like KO losing would do him a disservice. They both work great. I think Jesse the Body did a great job of speaking towards the ankle. He was dumb for taking that match. Like, KO's gonna attack his ankle. He even sold it throughout the match, which was great. Overall, it was a good match. I just didn't like the ending. And that's where I'm gonna keep it for right now.
To elaborate on the ending in this match, we see the ref goes down. KO gets a stunner, 3 count by the crowd, doesn't count. We then see Cody goes for a Cody cutter.
After
a second ref comes in. He knocks out that ref. This is where there's a chair being involved, where KO brings a chair in, and Cody cutters to the chair. KO's head hits the chair. Ref miraculously, I guess, hears the chair hit the ground, pops back up, counts 1, 2, 3. Cody gets the win. From outside the ring, right? My thing is, does this count as cheating? if he brought the weapon in and he used it, is it a cheating? Is this a heel tactic from Cody?
He looked down. So if you watch the match again, he did look down to see where the chair was at and was like, yeah. But same token, Kevin, you tried to get away with a chair shot. So like, I'm not mad at the fact that he hit the move on the chair. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah, it's not a heel move if the babyface tricks the heel and uses what the heel was going to do in a up and comings. I don't know the fucking phrase right now. Like essentially, you made the heel look dumb, and you use the heel's tactic against the heel without being caught. So the part that is like quote unquote slimy or dirty is the fact that technically, yes, the babyface did use a cheat. He technically did. I'm not going to say it's a heel move, but I would say it's more of a, because we live in a time in 2024. Not to sound historical right now, but we live in a time where it's easy to be in the gray area. It's easy to be the anti-hero. That's why we have 3 Venom films. That's why we just got Kraven. That's why the heels in AEW are super cool compared to the baby faces in AEW. Like, we live in an area where sometimes doing the shit that might be breaking the rules, quote unquote, is kind of cool. So I'm not going to say it's a heel move from Cody, but it's definitely an interesting thing, and I think it's going to play on what's going to happen later.
Okay.
But my overall feelings with the match is the wrong person won.
Ooh, the wrong person won. Did we? I know we talked about it, but do we truly believe that this was going to be KO's moment? That Cody was going to lose the belt here, not on a PLE, but on a special. Realistically, was that?
Well,
I don't think that.
It's one
I
of
don't
those
think that was going to happen.
It's one of those. I mean, I didn't expect AJ Styles to beat Jinder Mahal at a house show that wasn't televised for the WWE Championship. Like, I feel like this was one of those moments to where they could easily swerved us. The fact that we didn't get a single title change is affecting my score on this show.
Mm.
And
I did notice that too.
And the title that should have changed is this particular title. I think Gunther should have won. I think Liv, as much as I want Iyo, as much as I love Iyo, like, Liv should have won. I think this, and there's again, we were talking about earlier, like, there's so much time between now and Mania to where, if they want Cody to lose for a hot second, they could still book it that way. But especially after the way this match ends, but man, no, KO should have won this match. And also, real quick, because
no, you good.
There was an RKO before the 2 ref bumps. There was an RKO on the table. That was a cool spot. Then we get the ref bump that Cody sets up. That sets up for a stunner. That's when we get the 5 count, no ref. Get the second ref shows up, do a super Cody cutter, goes for the disaster kick. Then he does a crossbody on that second ref, and that's what sets up the eventual Cody winning with a ref counting outside, which I don't even think is legal. I have problems with this. I don't know if it's legal for a ref to make official count outside the ring. I don't know. I don't know if that's legal. I'm not sure. I'm not going to Google it right now, but it's very questionable to me.
So basically what you're saying is that you think, and for the audience, that the ref has to slide in and be physically in the ring to make the count.
In my mind, yes.
Unless it's falls count anywhere, right?
Yes, in my mind, yes.
But if the pin takes place in the ring, it should still count.
I feel like
Have
you
you
gotta be in the
ever
ring.
seen a ref count from outside the ring?
No, I haven't. I just thought that if the bodies are in the ring, he can still make the pin whether he's standing up outside the ring.
I'm going to say no, but my only counter to agree with what you're saying, Loner, is the fact that the ref was right there. So it was like he could see both shoulders. A la of like, the Gunther Randy match or any other match where it's like, well, I didn't see that their shoulder was up.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like since he could see, quote unquote, both shoulders, sure. But to my limited wrestling knowledge, I feel like you're supposed to be in the ring, especially if it's not. Yeah, it's a regular ass match. It's a normal match. It's a normal ass match. You can't do that shit in 2K. not to use a video game as the end all be all, but like Charles, get your ass in the ring. Charles couldn't slide in the ring.
And it was funny because I was looking at the camera angle. I was like,
bump.
he's really small or this ring is huge. He's just sitting there like shoulders up, like just making the count, and it looked kind of funny to me. But you may be on to something.
He is really small though.
Yeah, Charles.
He is really small in person.
Then I think for the
they purposely hire small refs and small ring people, not ring announcers, but like interviewers, so that it makes the wrestlers look taller.
Wrestlers look bigger,
look huge. Yeah.
Which is
you
why
can't have a 6'5" ref.
Well, I mean,
that would be funny though.
That was like Tom Phillips, who used to be in the company. He had when he did backstage interviews, he had to like split his legs so that he wasn't taller than everybody else because he was actually like 6 something. So it's a visual thing. Same reason why Tom Cruise, who's only like 5'3", looks fucking 6 foot in every fucking movie.
Fair.
That's
the show cuts off there.
It's fact.
The show cuts off
Zeno
there.
can't give you height. That's the show of Scientology. I'm sorry.
Jesus Christ. I knew what it was. I was like, this, but it's where you pull that from. The pocket that you pull these moments out are insane. Show ends there, right? And then after the show, socials are blowing up. There's a clip out. The first clip I see is KO's arguing with Triple H. I was like, why the fuck is KO arguing with Triple H? What the fuck happened? Keep scrolling, and then we see that KO goes on a fucking frenzy and pile drivers Cody in the middle of the ring. Stretchers get pulled out. They're carrying him off. As I'm making a tweet, I get a great text message from somebody, and he is fuming. So, with that fuming individual, like to get some shit off his chest, Mr. DT. What is your thoughts on what just happened here?
The first thing that came to my mind was a quote from Michael Jordan. Fuck them kids. Okay? God damn. We get it.
Is that really a Michael Jordan quote? Or are you just using the damn meme? Because I'm about to be 2 days old. Are you really fucking with me? Is that really Michael Jordan's quote? Because I could have sworn it's from the movie with Bernie Mac and Mike Epps, right?
Yeah.
All right. Timestamp it. It's a real quote. I know now. Okay. Anyway, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. You almost spit real knowledge on me. I was like, what the fuck? I was about to YouTube it right. Okay. I'm sorry. All right.
This is a time where this is not about the art. This is about the goddamn dollar sign. And it's very rare that I will make an argument like this for wrestling because everything is done for a reason. The moment, was it Wednesday or Tuesday? The moment that they showed the clip of H going to Cody saying, hey, we only gonna do this one time, we knew exactly what the fuck it was. It was the belt that Cody has been, let me not say crying because it's gonna sound like I'm a hater. It was the belt that Cody has been dying to have around his waist,
campaigning,
all of those things. Yes. We knew what it was. Soon as that was the play, that's why I sent it in the group chat. I was like, Cody is for sure winning. The play, give him the belt, let him showcase the belt, create those core memories for the kids, potentially bring back some nostalgia for all the older adults. But then on top of that, as soon as the bell rings, there is a WWE shop link for the winged belt signed by Cody Rhodes, which I clicked it because I just wanted to see how much they were charging. You couldn't even find the belt. So that let me know it was either glitching because so many people were buying it and clicking on it, or they hadn't yet put it up. So that was my first thing, is fuck those kids. We're trying to tell a story here. Fuck them kids. We get it. He's the superhero. He's Superman. He come out with the cape. It's the red, white, and blue. You got to have something good about America so kids have something to look up to. I understand all of those things. To me, and the text that I sent to Loner, my problem is the logic behind it. Because now you have to decide, and this was before the video came out, but now you have to decide, is this pile driver going to count? It has to count because he just did a pile driver to Randy Orton. We haven't seen Randy Orton for 2 months.
And
so there's no way
it
that
has to count. What do you mean by it has to count?
What I mean is this has to count now into the story of of Cody and KO. Meaning you can't just have this moment happen just to like showcase like a piece of a story for the fans that were not watching on television. The people who were there live got to see this happen live. The people who were watching television didn't get to see it because it cut off immediately after. You get Cody kissing the mat, looking up to the sky, crying, happy that he won. It has to count towards the storyline. The way that the pile driver was built up from Randy taking it, this pile driver had to equally and or surpass it in terms of meaning something in the story, which at the time we didn't know if that was the case. Now seeing the video coming out, it does look like it's going to mean something. So that was my first thing. The second thing is, if you're going to give Cody time off, why not just drop the belt to KO so you can push the storyline? He wins. Cody has something to come back for and fight for. Are you going to make him vacate the title because he's in the hospital? Are we just not going to see it now because you've already pre-recorded? Now I'm going to sound like one. Oh my God. Anyway, are we not going to see the title now because he's quote unquote laid up on the shelf? You can't have him vacated because he just won it. He's a defending champion. That, like, to me, there's so many issues and negative pieces about this point that I'm gonna just let it play out. But my initial thought process on all of that was this was dumb, and I think I'm gonna stop right there and let y'all have a piece. I'll interject a little later, but I was very upset. Very upset.
I was upset, and I'm gonna let you close out, Hero. With the idea of that we didn't see it, right? This definitely should have been like the icebreaker, or not the icebreaker, but the big moment at the end of the show. The fact that it was cut off, or it cut off and we didn't get to see this, kind of made me mad. And this was different from when KO punched Cody in the parking lot for Bad Blood. This one has an effect to the story, right? The pile driver is a key moment of the story that they've been telling with KO. So this one definitely should have been shown to us. Whether you cut out an ad to help us see this, or maybe take out one of the ref spots, we still would have had enough time to see KO pop up or get frustrated and come back and do the pile driver, and then the show ends. I'm good with that. I don't necessarily think that Cody may be taking a vacation right now because the whole Netflix show is coming up. Plus, SmackDown's taped for next week as well, to where I think Cody should be on that as well, or I would at least hope. But we'll see. I don't know where to go with this because, like you said, I do agree that if he's on vacation, you could have just had him drop the belt, and then the big pop when he came back would have been fucking huge. But if he's not going to drop the belt, and KO stole his wing belt now, how do we create a story out of this? Like, what's the story here? Is Cody going to pop back up and come back after the belt that's not actually his WWE Championship belt, or did KO actually steal the WWE Championship? Like, what's
for continuity, as Hero likes to say? If the pile driver, that for all intents and purposes, now that we've seen this one be hit a lot cleaner and smoother, for the pile driver on Randy that was not as clean to put Randy out for 2 months with Randy's stature, his build, it's just not. This is one of those times where I'm nitpicking. It's just not believable for me to see Cody pop back up in 3 weeks, and we have not seen Randy. Now, if Randy would have came back tonight at the end of the show or something or whatever, okay, because then to me you're saying, all right, he was out, but he wasn't out that long. It makes it a little more believable for me to assume that Cody's going to be back faster. For Cody to now pop up later on with the regular belt, Hero. Well, I mean, he's booked for here, so he's gonna be at SmackDown for sure. You're saying he's gonna be at Raw as well. To me, it cheapens the power driver that was done to Randy. And I know Hero probably want to speak about back injuries, neck injuries, which they built up in that. But if you're telling me that this move has been banned for 10 years, it's not allowed to be used. He used it on somebody who's 6'5", 290, who's been out now for 2 months. And then he uses it on another guy who is, I'm not going to say half his size, but another guy who is smaller. We shouldn't see Cody Rhodes for a minute. Technically.
Well, looks like we all want Hero's thoughts and opinions on this. Mr. Heroic, what do you have for us?
Okay. I agree that we should not see Cody for a minute. The reason why Randy's is more serious is because, yes, the injuries and yada yada, but those injuries were like real life technical injuries. Like there was a huge chance he might have never came back for Survivor Series. So that's why they are heavily emphasizing why Randy still isn't here. Does that make it more justifiable? I guess not, but I don't know, that's wrestling, and if that's not a good answer, I apologize for that. But like they're similar to what I was saying earlier with like taking a finisher power ranking versus taking a finisher through a table when we were talking about Paul Heyman. Like if you're taking a banned move and you literally just came back from a life-threatening injury, like such as a Big E or an Edge or whatever, then yeah, technically, kayfabe-wise, quote-unquote, you should be a little longer than the Superman, Captain America babyface that you have as your current champion, who will be back sooner. If he comes back sooner and they have a rematch, Cody should definitely lose the fucking rematch. If he doesn't, I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. I will be pulling out a couple dreads, I feel like. Because, again, I feel like KO should have won this match, especially if he's going to go on a quote-unquote break. But he's been advertised for January 6th. DT said he's been advertised for January 12th or 11th. That's the show in our town. Yeah, I don't know. It's all a little, to me, it is a little perplexing. I will say this. There's still so much random ample time for them to do a bunch of storylines. There is a chance to where maybe they do the rematch next Saturday night, which is mid-January. Cody could lose that, then he could win it back at Elimination Chamber. They could do that, or Cody just never loses, or Cody just.
I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to lose.
Which is, to me, it's fine. It's fine if it makes sense, but at the same time, it just kind of has to be fine, because I had to deal with 4 years of someone not losing, and it was not losing.
I knew that was going to be the case.
Ooh,
yeah, but it's not. No,
but it's
not spicy. It's not.
It's not spicy because it's wrestling. Like if this is the person that they really want to champion for a year and a half, like he's not going to, like I will put my, like, he's not going to get the Roman Reigns push as far as like having the title for 4 years. He is going to lose this. But if they want to give him a full 1 year to like make his legacy proud or whatever the hell, I can see it. Sure, whatever the hell. But he's going to lose this title. I thought this was the perfect time.
If that's the case, if he's gonna have a year, don't have him take a pile driver. Have KO. KO missed the chair in the match. Fuck it, I'm not missing it now. Beat his ass with the chair after the match.
True.
I can believe he comes back at the beginning of January after being attacked by a chair. But I just saw Randall Keith Orton get put on the shelf for 2 months, and he's 6'5", 290.
So I'm pulling from here.
Real quick.
Go ahead.
If this rematch happens, let's say this rematch happens in January at the next Saturday night. Okay, because all right, for example, because again, I feel like they're trying to make Cody the next John Cena, right? And John Cena did a bunch of crazy shit that actually, at some point, it did turn the fans off because it's like he's beating 8 niggas at a
Super
time.
Cena.
You know,
Nexus
like he beat
Super
all
Cena
the
was
Nexus.
nuts.
Like, yeah, like if they're trying to make Super Cody, then it for sure. That 8 to 49, that 18 to 49 demographic, a lot of them will go back to AEW. I promise you. But I'm really thinking Triple H is a little smarter than that. I feel like I do agree with you. He shouldn't just instantly come back. This is a power, like he took a power driver. They're making this power driver feel serious. If they instantly give us a rematch, KO needs to fucking win this. And the reason why I wanted KO to win this match, because I don't want the show to close out with me saying this, the reason why I said the wrong guy won this match is it's very similar to how I felt about Shinsuke when we were talking about War Games. KO has lost so many title matches in the last 4 years that they keep putting it in. It's in every goddamn vignette. And that's how I felt about Shinsuke, where it was like Shinsuke has to beat LA Knight here. You cannot rebrand this motherfucker twice and have him just keep losing all these big matches. Kevin Owens, besides WrestleMania 39 with him and Sami, he has lost every single big fucking match. He cannot keep losing these big matches. The only other reason, and like if you want to go super IWC fucking conspiracy brain, he didn't resign yet, and he might jump ship. I personally think he already resigned. I think they're keeping it secret. I think he already resigned, but they got to give this man a fucking big win, and it just can't be like they need to give him a big win, even if it's not a fucking title. They need to give him a big win.
Okay,
he lost.
So
yeah,
if he beats Randy, is that the big win?
Yes, but no, because it's not justified. Because he's the one that attacked Randy. He's the one that made Randy try to choose sides and push Randy to the envelope or whatever you want. Like, so I'm gonna say yes, because getting a win over Randy is gonna be big regardless. But like they've been in this industry for a while. I'm pretty sure KO's beat Randy at least once.
Gotcha.
But like with KO's story arc, it doesn't necessarily need to have a title, but it should have a title for him to get to
put
his
the
next
bow
chapter.
on it for him. Yeah, for him to believe in this rebrand, a title definitely needs to be in his future. That way, we can fully believe that this is a different version of KO. To where now that you explained it, it does make a lot more sense to me that where your ideas were with KO. To where like, yes, bro, he has been losing. We see him. He lost to Roman several times. I think before the show they were talking about, or before the match, we were talking about all the moments that has happened to KO. Unless his character gimmick or story is just him losing these big matches, which at that point, why would you do that? Like that doesn't make any sense. Like he doesn't. His whole vendetta right now is him beating up Cody because he teamed up with Roman, who beat him up for 4+ years. Like we don't need the L's to continue into the 6th year. I agree.
It's almost like Finn Balor, and it's fucked up because they have a very similar story with like how they came to WWE and all this other stuff. I loved both of them since my first time seeing them. I know DT loves Finn. I know DT at least likes KO, and it's just like, when are these guys going to get their big W? Like, I know we can't just like shoehorn stuff into like existence, but at some point
they can. They did it with Motor City. And Motor City only held the belts for 30 days. Like, if KO had a 30-day run, are we mad?
No. But that's why I said if he would have won tonight, and lost that shit at a main event at Royal Rumble,
I would say
which is whatever.
February. Yeah, that's a.
Yeah,
we're good.
It's cool. Like, cool. Because now I can believe that the level of aggression that KO went to after seeing his quote unquote friend, like he had this, him and Cody, not even 2 weeks ago, had this great back and forth promo where they questioned each other. Like they were attacking each other internally. you can't have that happen. Have it to where KO feels like, oh, I'm being summoned by the Golden Boy. Like that's what I'm doing the interview in the car. If you want to talk to me, come see me in the car. Y'all say I can't show up here. I can't show up here. Oh, but if Cody wants me to show up, I can show up. Like those things have to count and lead to something. And his level of aggression and the choices he's making have to count and lead to something.
There's be meaning behind it.
We're gonna let it play out, cool. But if there was a time for KO to win and to lose, so that Cody is still in the main event picture for your WrestleMania and you can still sell all the money and all the shit you need to do, this was the window. Let him hold the belt for 3-4 weeks. Quick swap, boop, boop. It's back on Cody at Royal Rumble. So he's automatically in WrestleMania. You don't got to worry about fine-tuning the story for him to be there. And then you can figure it out from there. Even if Randy Orton was the cause to KO losing the belt to Cody again. Yeah, Cody still gets the belt. He's still a babyface. I didn't use heel tactics, but you're bringing this character back that he just eliminated for 3 months.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, no, KO should have won. And if they do a three-peat, because like Cody's just like so baby-faced, where he's like, I don't care if I'm injured, similar to what he did when he had this feud with Brock Lesnar Seth, Brock Lesnar, and Shinsuke. Because like there was a moment where Shinsuke blinded him, and he's like, I'll fight blind, I don't give a fuck. If that's finally the thing that like gives him a loss, yeah, he beat Brock Lesnar is the only Brock Lesnar is the only one where he took an L to Brock and Roman, but I don't think the L with Brock was a clean finish. I might have been a DQ, I don't remember. But like no, he's literally lost all those feuds except for he's 1-1 with Roman, and I think he's 2-1 with Brock, and then he went 3-0 against Seth and 3-0 against Shinsuke.
And Shinsuke
he already might be Super Cody. I just want the record to show he might just be in the bag already.
That's why we get 3 Crossroads. 3 Crossroads is him picking up 2 people for the AA. It's the same difference.
Now that you mention that just pissed me off even more. Because Brock Lesnar did put this motherfucker in a Kimura, fucked his whole shoulder and arm up, and he still beat Brock Lesnar later. And then you had Shinsuke spit all in his face. He couldn't see. All right, see, now if I wasn't a Cody hater before, today, what is today? 12/14/2024, I might officially be a Cody hater. Because now that you say that, oh my god,
that's funny.
like again, like there's we could find and I know I said this on the show before. Like we can find a balance between having these Gunther/Roman Reigns type reigns versus playing patty cake, which is like what Cena and Randy Orton did in like 2007 and 8. Like there could be a difference. Like during the pandemic when Drew won, there was a point in time like he had a good 2 months. He lost to Randy after in the second match, and then he won the belt back against Randy like a month or 2 after. Like so that instantly made him a 2-time. This was their chance to like have Cody find some of his biggest adversary since fucking fighting Roman, and then having him build himself back up, which is what baby faces are like. That's why baby face pushes are the greatest. Like it's all about the push, not when they get the fucking W. Like that's why like soon as Cody won, people were like, oh, I don't know, I'm not really feeling this shit. And it's like, well, it's because he's not chasing the title. The babyface chase is way more than when the babyface is victorious. It's almost scientific, unfortunately. This was their chance to be like, all right, this is Cody's real first fucking like crazy enemy since Roman at WrestleMania 39. And they could have had him build back up, and then you slowly involve Randy into all that mix of whatever. But and there's still a chance for them to do this. They still could do this.
Maybe that's what I'm missing is that we haven't had a big bad for Cody that made it feel like there was pressure on Cody. All the people and that's what this was. That's what this could have been, was the big bad to bring on the Roman bloodline kind of like pressure for Cody. Because right now, everything for him, all his matches don't seem like they have any weight to him. And that was my issue with like his run. Is I don't like his championship matches because none of the big bads feel like big bads. Nobody's winning like did anything crazy. It at least shit since Mania, since Roman and Rock, since we saw Rock sit there and threaten his mom with the belt, it was like there hasn't been anybody on the WWE roster aside from Rock and Roman that made it feel like Cody's belt or championship reign was in danger.
AJ was close. With KO. AJ was close, but this KO, AJ was. I would say AJ was slightly close, and then in just like they jumped the shark. But this like last 3-4
this was
weeks,
it.
This was it, and they still could capitalize based off of how the show ended. They could capitalize on it if Cody does his like, no, I'm good to go, coach.
Yeah, I want to. He should definitely lose.
Loses,
if he does that, he should lose. Yeah,
that then we could. I will be fine with it. I'll be like, all right, I ate a lot of crow this episode. That's fine. I'm Jon Snow. That's great. But goddamn it, if they still do the Super Cena shit. Then it's like, man.
Or they save him with an RKO from Randy, and now he got the belt again, and now you're like, fuck. Yeah, it's a lot that can possibly happen here, bro. Yeah, it's a lot.
Listen, I'm the opposite. I just realized I got on a gray robe. I'm the opposite of Dave LaGreca. If he pushing Cody, I'm pushing against him. That's where I'm at with it. I'm in a gray robe, and I'm standing here 10 toes down. Do I got any? I don't got no coffee or nothing, and I ain't got no wife in the house. But I'm letting y'all niggas know right now, I'm mad, and I'm against it.
All right. Okay. In closing, what? This man said, I ain't got a wife in here. What are we ranking the show out of 10? What are we giving it? Hero, you just started earlier to where like your numbers were slightly off based on people not lose championships and shit like that. What's your numbers?
Okay, out of 10. Man. I was ready to do mine out of 4, and I mean out of 5.
Do it out of 5. My bad. Do it out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's a 5, I'm gonna do.
I think you're gonna say 3.
No, I'm gonna do a 4 even. Dare I even say 3.8? But I'm gonna do a 4 even. I don't like. I think the show felt important, but it did not feel important enough to where it tipped the scales between a regular show, a special show, and a PLE. To me, it almost felt like I watched a really good Raw or a really good SmackDown. The only difference is that there was no filler. Like every single match was good, and the fact that there was no like filler or like world building, it makes the show go by even quicker. But man, the fact that it's not even the fact that it's not even the fact that it's the title change that I wanted to happen. The fact that there was nothing changed. Like there's no, when I say there was no world building, like that's actually really fully correct. Fuck the backstage segments. Like nothing changed. Everyone who was supposed to win or needed to win technically like kind of won. Like nothing, like so almost this show almost doesn't necessarily matter as far as like all the story arcs go, except for the fucking last match where you see a fucking injury and then you get a new champion. Those are like the only 2 arcs that really truly matter, and even then it's like, ugh. So if that's the case, I gotta go middle in the road. So if we're doing out of 5, I'll do 3.5 based off of what I just said.
What you got, DT? Or I can do mine. I'm at a 2.83. And the reason why is a lot of it that Hero said, but I judge it a little differently because like it is a special, it's a theme. It's like one of those, if it's not a PLE, and this is like one of your theme shows, these ones are supposed to be better than your Raws and SmackDowns. I've seen better Raws and SmackDowns this year. And
last week's Raw was
like, that's what I'm saying. So like, and compared to what you said to, we're like, yeah, you could have, oh fuck, I forgot about this, and just watch Raw and nothing changed. You're right, it doesn't really mean anything. Like like I said, besides the last match or the not even the last match, the fucking internet clip. You even got to watch the fucking show. You can just watch the fucking clip of KO pile driving, and that's the only thing that matters. So, yeah, I'm gonna stick to my 2.8. I think that like it should be better. I think the next one will be better. But I can't give this a 3 or 3.5 when I've seen better SmackDowns and Raws. That's just me.
Question before I give my rating. Since you both have said the same thing in terms of the show not meaning anything.
Okay, wait, real quick.
When Roman didn't show up?
No. And when I mean no, that's not why Roman didn't show up, because Roman didn't. No. When I mean it doesn't mean anything.
He was on the billing. He was on the billing at first, and they took him off.
To do what?
Uwa is worth 1.5.
Uwa has to. He can't just. He just. Okay. Do we know his character? He doesn't just walk in and does Uwa. Okay, like who's he Uwaing to? Yeah, no, you guys are just no, absolutely not.
I was asking a legitimate question,
okay,
and I had more to expound on.
Okay, I'm sorry. What I mean by it doesn't mean anything, or the show didn't mean anything, is just that besides the Chelsea Green one, like
there's no storyline implications.
There's nothing that advanced anything except for the ending of that main event. But the ending of that main event, even though it does quote unquote advance stuff, it's for sure not in the way that I want it. So there's some bias with that, but it's just like Gunther retained, Liv retained. Drew still beat Sami because Sami's never beat Drew before. Cody retains, and other than literally the last two matches, nothing new technically happened, and even then with that last match, Cody still retained. So I'm only going to say
just the women's match.
1.5 things new happened in this whole show. 1.5.
But that's why I was
because like I said, the other half didn't happen. It happened on TikTok or on fucking Instagram or whatever. Like one thing changed in this fucking show. The rest of it we didn't see as the viewers who watching the show. I can't grade it on that. I can't add extra. I can't add the DLC.
But I'm not going to consider this episode like a random filler in an anime where it's like, yeah, you can skip it. Like you should watch the show. But as far as
because the match, it was a good show.
As far as story arcs advancing, like not much is like everyone that you thought would have won more than likely for sure kind of won. I mean, I don't know.
DT, wrap it up. What you got?
It was a joke. That's why I said it, because nothing's happening here. So why do I need to show up if we're not doing anything? You said wait, Jay, you said a 2.8, a 2.8,
yeah, 2.8, right? 2.83,
and then Hero, you said like a 3.5.
I'm going 3.8 to 4.
Okay, so ironically enough, I'm in the middle. I had it at a solid 3. I think the nostalgia piece was amazing. The matches, with the exception of the last one, were really good. But again, like the both of you have said, there was nothing like. I remember seeing, and yes, it's a rumor, whatever the case, but I remember seeing a title change of some sort was supposed to happen. At this showcase. But the moment, like, to me, they showed their hand. The moment they showed or alluded that the winged belt was going to be there, it was what it was at that point. So
it pisses me off because I thought that was a red herring. To me, that was like, oh, they showing the hand. Nope. They showing the hand. That means KO's going to win. Like I thought that was a red herring.
How big that would have been to the story is that like they bring your belt and I steal it from you, bro. Like I took your shit. Like that would have been major, bro.
Yeah. I mean, he did take it.
You wanted to come out with it, but you didn't. You
didn't walk out. I guess true.
Yeah. But I don't like after this happened in AEW twice this year. I'm not trying to see people steal belts, bro. Like take the belt.
No, let me show. Hey, if KO was a real dickhead. Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
He could throw an X through the belt and start antagonizing Punk. That would be fucking crazy. But that's just me. What you said, DT? You said something about the Ufala?
I was just saying, like, Solo took it instead of earning it. So I was just
True.
yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna go with 3. I think overall I like the presentation. The crowd was hot. I just, like y'all said, not much changed. The ending that we saw on television was mid. So yeah.
Fair.
Damn.
All right, people. We're gonna get out of here. One thing I want to do now with our outros is let these people know where they can find you, man. If people want to talk to you, where can they talk to you? If you're looking for Jay's on Blue Sky at Jay Monday Night Wave. Definitely come check in with your boy. We're doing things over there, we're engaging and shit. Also at Monday Night Wave on Twitter and Blue Sky and IG and TikTok. So if you want to check out the wave there, you can do that as well. Hero, where can the people find you?
You could find me on all those, but you should only find me on Blue Sky, because if you follow me on anything else, I won't accept it. I won't even pay attention to it. Matter of fact, if you talk to me, I'm going to ignore you probably, unless it's on Blue Sky. That's where you'll find the nice hero. If you want babyface hero, you'll find me on Blue Sky, because anything else, I don't need your follows. I don't want your follows, except for on Blue Sky.
Okay. DT.
Which is Heroic Raider, I think, at Blue Sky.
Like, tell me the name, nigga.
Yeah, what?
Heroic Rager on Blue Sky. DT, what you got?
Same with the BLUESKY. We on the BLUESKY. I deep down BLUESKY. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm at, mostly talking about wrestling. You can also find me on X as well. Yeah. That's where we at with it. All right. That's where we at with it.
Heroic Rager on Blue Sky. I Deep Down on Blue Sky. J Monday Night Wave on Blue Sky. We're going to get out of here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. If you made it this far, a little sneak peek. We're on break for the next 2 weeks. We'll pop back up in January. I believe January, like after the Netflix episode, we'll be up.
We just took a pile driver.
We took a personal pile driver. We will be dropping some videos for you guys. These videos are not the normal ones that we've been uploading on YouTube. These ones are going to have full visuals, people.
And full nudity, straight up. Just all over.
I'm for sure editing all that out, bro. That's fucking crazy.
Oh my God.
I mean, you can at least bleep it. You ain't gotta.
No, it's going to be bleeped. I'm gonna leave this part in, but what you just said there, time the fuck stamped. I'm gonna do this the SpongeBob dolphin noises. That's what's gonna happen there. When they were cussing on SpongeBob and the dolphins, that's what's gonna be right there. Jesus Christ, man!
Say that, bro.
All that, yo.
Oh my God!
You didn't gotta say anything. That's the dolphin noise. God, all right, people.
It's a beverage.
Thank y'all for tuning in.
Beverage.
No,
order a Moscow Mule. You need some with a Moscow Mule. That's the name of the ginger beer.
Jesus Christ! Would you stop saying that word?
I'm sorry. My bad.
Hey, please put the dolphin noises on both of us. That shit would be so hilarious.
That is crazy. All right, people. We're going to get out of here. Thank y'all for tuning in. We'll catch you guys in 2 weeks after the break. Big things popping for the wave. Thank you for tuning in. Peace out.
Catch this wave.
Too sweet.
Whoa.